I'm going to take you through the proceedings tonight, or at least try to along the way. We're going to have quite a lot going on this evening, so I'll give you a little bit of a brief overview about what is happening. So we're going to start by introducing the staff, which I'll do very, very shortly. They've asked me to introduce them, even though you know who they are. So they're the only three that I can abuse throughout the whole evening. So if I pick on them, it's because it's easy. Anyway, we're going to start the evening with that introduction, and then we're going to have some top-notch entertainment from magician Sean Hayden. And if he can make Jono disappear inside the first 10 seconds, that'll be a great start to the evening. We have some speakers for you this evening, so you won't get bored of my voice, and we have some videos to play on the big screen if Jono can work the technology. Then we'll finish with the awards, which will conclude this evening. So let's start with the staff then. We'll start this end, because, well, he's put his name at the top, so we'll start with him. Michael Johnson. Now, he's written down this, so I'm going to say it word for word, and then I'm going to add on what's actually correct. So he's the programme manager, and since it's been running, he's been here 8 years. 8 years? Been here 8 years, Jono? Wow. The programme's grown from 11 applicants to 60 applicants. Jono, of course, no longer plays for futsal because he's injured all the time, he's rubbish, he won't get the team, all the reasons. Next to Jono is Callum Avent. He actually played on the scholarship programme, then was the apprentice, and now coaches full-time futsal for the last 3 years. He runs the Futsal Development Centre. It says here, take Mick on what you want, Probs Tomlin. So obviously Callum looks like Lee Tomlin, and that's pretty much what we've got there. He does look like Lee Tomlin. In fact, he's better than Lee Tomlin. Not at football, but... And then next to Callum is Jenna Lust. You see, what's happened there is the ladies have cheered her own coach, 2 male coaches, not one bit of applause for them whatsoever, which I think says a lot about them as coaches. So, Jenna, women and girls manager, currently plays for the women's team when not injured, and when is that, Jenna? Never, exactly, yes. She's been here seeing the programme grow and grow and grow. I was here for the ladies' presentation evening. I took plenty of abuse in her direction for that night, and will continue to do so. But the ladies have had a wonderful year. Can we have a round of applause for the ladies, actually, because they also got promoted really, really well in the last couple of years. And deserve that applause. So I've introduced the staff. It's got coaches written on that table, so if you're unsure about what they do, that's what they do. Jono is in charge of the technology, so if all else fails, well, judging by his laptop, I have no idea what's going to be on there, so let's hope that it works. He's got a thing on here called text the best example to the following, and then there's a number. It's a bit like Soccer Aid last night without Usain Bolt. So you text in 07710 510 714. Is that your number, Jono? It's not your number. Okay, Callum's number. Wow, you are desperate for friends. So you're looking for the funniest moment. I'm presuming that means in your futsal scholarship programme, not generally. Best goal in a fixture. Very happy if you want to nominate yourself, that's not a problem. But remember, we will read some of them out, so if you have nominated yourself, then big up yourself. And the biggest joker in the team, which was Jono, until of course he quit in the team. So do text in. Callum's got his phone over there. If no one texts, then he will feel really, really sad. Won't you, Callum? Yeah. Do you normally get many texts? No. Okay, so if someone can text Callum just to say he looks nice, looks good, pick him up, anything along those lines. And if you want to text Callum about what you really think about Jono, you can do that as well. That's fair enough? Excellent. Okay, so you know what the text number is, it's up there. But now I'm going to introduce our magician. Now, he should really be winning Britain's Got Talent, but he's here performing for you guys. So can you give a warm welcome to Sean Hayden.
Hello! Time is half, isn't it? Right, here we go. Alright, I'm going to need everybody to copy exactly what I do. Before I do that, when I'm travelling around doing the theatre show, I'm going to got somebody that comes on stage before me, introduces me, warms everybody up, everybody goes wild. That person's not with me tonight.
Sorry.
So...
I tried.
Alright, we're going to use Ryan instead. Ryan, stand up for me, please. Ryan, I'm going to stand to one side. Thanks to the people, we haven't been to you. Alright, I'm going to stand to one side. Ryan's going to say, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sean Hayden. I'm going to come on and do a couple of tricks.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome... What's your name again? Sean Hayden!
Nobody told me you couldn't read anyway. Now, I'm going to need everybody in the room to copy exactly what I do. So, everybody, like this, holding your hands. Everybody, if you all do it, you'll be up here on your own in front of the whole class. Especially you, Sarah, with your arms like that, just staring at me. It's not a challenge, it's a magic trick. All right, you'll be next up on stage if you're not careful. Hands out like this, take your palms down, put them in the air, point them at me, go like this. I'm joking, go like this, do it properly. Fine. Slowly turn your palms down. Just going to turn into the arthritis test now. Put one hand over the other, link your fingers together. Make sure your thumbs are pointing down, your pinky fingers are on top. Now copy me, we're going to do your right little finger. We're going to do your left thumb. On the count of 3, you do this. 1, 2, 3. What? Go like this. Give yourself a nice big round of applause. Now, hi, I'm going to do a quick card trick before you get through. We're on the next trick now, don't worry. Yeah. All right, I'm going to have some cards picked out of the pack, so take a card, take a card. Obviously, look at them, remember them, don't let me see, because I cheat. Take a card, 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 you can take a card as well. Try to like you're enjoying this, please. Perfect. Look at them, remember them, and did you get one? Yeah, you can take a card as well. What I'm going to ask you is I'm going to turn my back. I always just hold up the cards, so if people behind you can just try and remember 1 or 2 of the cards, so you can see some of them. Hold up now so people can see. I'm going to slowly look back now, make sure I don't see the cards, make sure I don't see them, make sure I don't see them. I'm going to take them all back. We're going to leave them all sticking out of the pack, just like this for a minute. That's when you all know they're in different places before we shuffle them. We'll go with your card first. If at the end of the trick you forget what card you picked, just agree with me. That way you don't look stupid. All right, thank you very much. Wonderful, remember, excellent, wonderful, amazing, excellent. Did you get one as well? And we got some over here, just everything. Wonderful, don't tell me what you picked, Molly. Now, here we go. Now, who's good at catching? Me, perfect, I'll do it. Well, if the card's a bit of a mix-up just like this, a couple of cuts down here onto the table. This is the easy bit. The difficult bit's to try and find the cards. We're going to go for your card first. It's not on the bottom, it's not on the top. Watch close. One card just here, the 8 of hearts.
Oh, dead.
Yes, perfect. All right, card number 2. If I take half the pack and a third of that, we get one card just here, the Queen of Clubs. Wonderful. The next card's already up here, hopefully in my pocket, just round about there, the 4 of Diamonds. Yes, I know. 3 cards down here. 1, 2, 3. The next card there, the 7 of Clubs. That would be your card, right? If I cut the deck round about halfway, just round about here, we get the next card there, the 4 of Spades. Ryan, that's your card, isn't it? Yeah, wonderful, perfect. Thanks for a card then. A little bit of a mix just like this brings the next card right up here to the top of the pack, just round about there, the King of Spades. Yes, did you get a card? No, it's your card. Your card's going to fly in the pack, spin in the air. I'm going to try and catch it if I am lucky. Just around about here. We get the 10 of Clubs. That's not your card. Check it out, if I shake it, it changes. The 8 of Hearts, just like this. I know, oh, wonderful. The next card's even easier, because that one's down here already in my back pocket, the 3 of Clubs. Yes, and if I take the deck and squeeze, the whole pack disappears. Leave me with one card, the card that you picked, the Ace of Spades. Thank you very much. Yes, and tell you, if you want to know where the rest of the pack goes, have a look in your left trouser pocket. Yeah, I'm joking, I can't do that, yeah, well, if I could do that, I wouldn't be here, let's face it. Now, I'm going to show you one more trick, and then I've got to leave you. I'm going to get Ryan to come up here and help me. We're going to, ask Ryan to stand here for me, please. We're going to film this trick, we're going to put it on Facebook, so we need everybody going mental at the end of it, alright? So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put some music on, I'm going to stop talking, and all you need to remember, Ryan, take your jacket off. Well then, wow, yeah. All right, all you need to remember is this. The louder that you clap and cheer, the higher Ryan is going to go. Right, just sit down at the table for me, man. Wonderful. Oh, a little bit further on. And lie down. Wonderful, excellent. Just close your legs together. Put your hands in the air like this. I'm going to wrap you up to stop when it's spilling. And Ryan just cross your arms like this. And remember, the louder you clap and cheer, the higher Ryan is going to go. Your head just there. Here we go.
Right, thank you very much, Sean. That was magical. Literally magical. What's going on here? Lee Tomlin, Callum Avon. Are we doing okay still, are we? Okay. Cal, have you had any texts?
Yeah, I have.
You have had some texts?
Yeah.
Is it from anyone in the room, or
Yeah, it is.
do you want to read it out?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll bring the mic. Don't worry yourself.
How
Put it to your mouth and speak.
So we got Max Snowden's goal from his own half versus Stoke. That was in Birmingham, I remember that. He stood right in front of me, in fact, and I think it was a kick of hope more than anything, Max. And he turns around, it's gone in, Cass. And he's also put the biggest joker, Ben Denton.
Oh, yeah.
The banter. Yeah, love that. Did you text that in Max yourself?
No, I keep it.
Did he? For you, or off your phone, or? Okay, no problem. Right, we're going to have a look at some slides now. So I'm going to look at the slide, see what's on the slide, and I might talk about it, and hopefully we'll get through the slide. So this looks like St George's Park. Now, for the boys, I think you've been playing this season. The girls played there for the first time last week, is that right? So obviously England train at St George's Park. They're off to the World Cup, obviously. So hopefully, thanks to you guys playing there, you can have a little bit of a part in England coming back to the World Cup. I mean, it would be a very, very small part. But it's always nice to be playing at the home of English football, and a great setup for you guys to play futsal. And that's a picture of St George's Park. There it is. You can put some picture, but always a video, nice.
It's actually an honour to play at like the England training ground. I mean, you see like when you watch on TV and you see like your favourite international players, and you just know that they've been here training here. Obviously, the facilities are great to play with and work with. I think it's a very good programme for people who are interested in sport. I mean, the education side of it is very good. Like you get your good qualifications that you want, and obviously the playing side of it is a lot of training, being around the professional footballers in a good environment, and obviously coming down here to play at St George's Park. Obviously, it's a lot better than normal school. If you're considering this course, I'd say you should go for it. It's a quality course.
They're playing at home with futsal for the FA and for England, so it's a great atmosphere, it's a great environment when they go and play. For them, it's probably the best futsal experience they've probably had at the moment today. The difference between this and other clubs is that they play and represent their clubs, and they play futsal, which is different from football. Everyone's offering football, futsal's here, it's unique, it's different, and it's a sport's developing and growing. And the EFL Trust are really proud of being part of that as well, trying to get more and more clubs, more and more players involved in playing futsal as well.
Education course for you to come play at facilities that a national team uses. It's an experience that these guys, I'm sure, will take with them for the rest of their life.
See, I told you St George's Park would be inspiring, losing on the penalty shootout, England typically. But that's a little overview of the futsal programme down at St George's Park and the experiences that some of you guys have had down there. I can't read you, Jono, so if you're asking for me to say something, you can just go ahead and say it. Rubik's then. Are you speaking, Johnny? You got the microphone over there, you want to speak? Or you want me to just introduce Isaac? Okay, I'll do that. Would you please welcome Isaac Saywell? He's got a prepared speech and everything. Of course you can have the microphone.
You alright everyone, hope everyone's having a nice evening. I'm just going to say a few words about NCS, how our experience was. So our NCS experience was split up into two things. We did the away residential, which was when we went away, we did like team building things, like kayaking, canoeing, things like that. And then we did charity work, and mine and Ben's group chose Little Miracles, which is a charity that helps kids with like learning disabilities and things like that. And we just went there, did some gardening, played with the kids, and then we did bagpacking to raise money, and with that money we bought like toys for them to play with. We bought a plaque with like Peterborough United and then NCS to like create a legacy as we were told to do, and then donate the rest of the money to them. And then the funniest moment, probably of like the whole course this year, funniest two moments at least. One is Matt. He's Jono's capsized him. He jumped on his boat. He's fell off. He's gone in the water, right? Started like swallowing loads of lake water. Tried to like smile through it. So he's like choking, but trying to like smile through it. And then the other one, he's probably wearing rodders. He's gone to go through these like tyres, and his trousers have come down as he's gone through, and he's just come out the other way with his trousers just still in the tyres. So yeah, that was pretty iconic. And I just wanted to say a few words about the St George's Park experience as well. It was just it was great to play there really, because thinking that like the England first team players and like Premier League stars have like played there and had interviews there like the same week you've been there is it's just pretty crazy to think. And yeah, that's all I've got to say really.
Well, I thought that NCS was a like great opportunity for us to like meet new people and like expand our personalities, because a lot of people like opened up during NCS, so it was good. And you know, we had good moments and bad moments, but overall it was a really good time. And you know, the charity work was good as well. You got a lot of like life skills from that, so yeah, it was good.
Thanks.
Give her a round of applause. I'm going to hand you over to Michael Johnson, who's got a text in and also wants to talk about NCS.
Okay, so it's probably the first time I'll talk this evening. Normally it's most of the night, but I have got a couple of videos and I think Isaac just touched upon them. So NCS for us was a great time for a couple of individuals to come out of the shell. Ollie Bay sat there tonight. It's really a massive opportunity for characters like himself, who went on the course as quite a quiet member of the team. By the end of it was very much in amongst the group, and that went on not only this year but the previous years as well. So I'm going to play this video. Sadly it is on Rewind because we put it on Instagram at the time, and I do apologise for nudity slightly. Matthew Wilshire here, got out of that one earlier. So it wasn't just Rodders who had his pants taken down. Matty actually went first through the tyres, I believe, and we had a bit of a laugh when his trousers came down, and then Rodders went second and hadn't learned the lesson. So we've luckily got both of these videos here tonight, so I'd like to say I do apologise for them. As I said, a bit of a weird video because it is on Rewind, as you can see, struggling to go through. And this video is Rodders. Okay, so there's two short videos of NCS. I do promise you as parents, if you're going to send them on there, your child on NCS with us, we do get up to other things apart from pulling the players' pants down and things like that. So throughout this season, there's been a lot of success on the court. So for the girls that have done really, really well, not just on the football side of things, but futsal. So the league, they finished third in the league, which is a great achievement. In the cup, managed to end up set the second place, runners up, which is really successful. And in the Shield, have won three out of 5 occasions when they've gone there. Currently, the girls play in Birmingham, kind of on bi-weekly fixtures. And like I said, last week travelled to St George's Park and done really, really well to beat Plymouth Argyle 6-0. And have had, like I said, a really successful year. Off the court, I've got to say, you've been a pleasure to have around the training ground, girls. When it comes to the academic scoreboard, we've kind of introduced that this year to kind of rate you inside the classroom as a student and a player. And the girls regularly, we can safely say, for all the staff, are always in the top 6, whereas my boys are a little bit less well behaved in that classroom. So well done. And as part of their end of season events, they've already gone to the Aqua Park, and they're going, I believe, to Thorpe Park this Friday as their last end of season event. So going back to the boys, I've got to say it's been a great season for us. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. On the court, we finished first in the league, which I must say a massive well done to all the players in the A team who finished there. B team effectively also finished first in the league. You know, when it comes to the B teams, they finished 4th. However, that was in and amongst the other teams above them. They also managed to achieve this in only having 2 kind of second-year scholars in the A team. So Keith and AJ really were the only second years that managed to play up in that A team squad. So we managed to succeed that with a great young team. We also achieved the highest amount of record wins in a row, which Louis Bland at the back, one of the old scholars, will be quite annoyed about, or he's just to my left, or to my right I should say. We broke last year's record, which was 7 or 8 games unbeaten. This year we went 100% win record up until the last 3 games of the season, where we had a little bit of a wobble. The cup overview, we managed to get to the semi-finals. The boys would say I wasn't the happiest after the first 2 group games. We went to the cup, we probably expected to kind of go there and win it, or at least be up there or thereabouts. After the first 2 games, we hadn't really done anything in the first 2 games at all, and we could have been turned over, and we needed a 6-0 win in the last fixture against Scunthorpe in a 20-minute game, which normally is a 40-minute game, and because it was in the cup, it was only 20 minutes. So 6-0, the boys probably thought it was going to be a hard task. We certainly looked at each other and, if I'm honest, before the game thought maybe our day was over. But I've got to say to the boys, they came out and we were 3-4-0 up within kind of 5-10 minutes. We went fly goalkeeper from the first minutes. That means where we play the goalkeeper as an outfielder with no GK, which I know Matt's a little bit nervous about, and Dan. Did it really well and managed to get through to the semi-finals. All right. So I'm going to introduce Cookie, who's been our magic man at the front this afternoon. Cookie's going to come up and talk about his season and his first year.
Alright, cool. So during our 2017-18 season, it started off with us being introduced to St George's Park. Obviously it's a great experience and a great learning curve for us boys, stepping up to the big boys table. The season started off well for the A team. We played Mansfield at St George's Park, picking up a massive 18-0 win. And obviously great confidence boost for us all, setting us off for a brilliant season. The B team as well, they played Stoke, who we didn't really have anything on. We just needed to find out what they were about. They came away 5-1 winners, dominant in that game. Poche went on to continue their 100% win record and consistent season, with a 4-2 win against local rivals Cambridge and also our rivals against Norwich as well, who were also at the time contending for the league title. Posh B were consistently challenging the top teams and managed to scrape out narrow losses and also a draw to Norwich, late on in the league. All the way through the season, Posh A were the team to beat and were the focus for the majority of the season. All the way throughout the campaign, Posh A rose to the occasion and carried on gathering points and also scoring a hefty amount of goals. Coming to the end of the season, Posh A kept their deserved first place. However, the last 2 games of the season took a turn for the worst. Posh A were narrowly defeated by Cambridge 4-2 in an even game, and later on by Norwich. Although the bad results brought the team morale down, Posh A gained the title with 42 points and a huge 126 goals scored and 29 conceded. AJ and Rodders were clinical in front of goal and picked up 36 and 34 goals between them in 16 games, and a total of 70 goals out of the 126 from the whole team. The Cup saw us progress through the first 2 rounds, bringing Grimsby out in the semi-final, who we had deservedly gone through to the semi-final and a 6-0 win, as Jono said. Unfortunately, we lost the game 4-0, as we thought that we could contend with Grimsby at the time, although they were better than us on the day. Leading into Nationals, Posh A faced Scunthorpe A, and Posh B played Grimsby B. Coming into the Scunthorpe game, obviously we came in confident because we just smashed them in the cup. Unfortunately, Posh A took a 10-7 loss, an undeserved loss after a largely dominant game against Scunthorpe, forcing us to crash out early rounds. Posh B, however, they won't like me saying this. They took a big 20-0 loss to Grimsby, who were agreeably a different class on the day, even though Posh B made maximum effort to try and stop them. Overall, both Posh teams experienced a great season, gaining the league title and also gaining both championship national spots. Although our long-term goals were not met, we could not come away from the season disappointed. We will continue to put in efforts on and off the court and pre-season to come back stronger next year.
Ryan, let's go Chalmers. You're watchable.
2 second years to get this far out of 6 of us, but I just want to wish I look at university, and I couldn't have done these past 2 years without her. First year's your turn. OJ, I know the whole team was gutted when we found out you couldn't continue with us this season, but I don't have any doubt that you'll come back stronger than ever, and I expect you to challenge May for Golden Boot next year. Emily, you sort of remind me of myself last year. You're a bit inconfident in yourself, if that's the word, I don't know if that's the word. Inconfident in yourself, but you have no need to be. You've grown so much this year, and you're so consistent, and the whole team is so, they know you're there, so just use your voice a little bit and you'll fly next year. Vicky, you've obviously grown into the team massively from when you first came, and your confidence and keeping skills, they're second to none now. Obviously 6-0 clean sheet at St George's Park just shows it. Gemma, we might not always see eye to eye, but I know it was hard for you to come in early, and I admire how much you work hard and how much positivity you bring to this team. I just want to wish you good luck next year, and obviously this and your A-levels. May, can't really say much other than to just keep scoring, really. I just want to thank you for everything this year, and you've got a big future ahead of you. Just remember to keep your head up. And girls, just one last bit of advice: just stick together next year and get the trophy back off Southampton, and get your work done, so you don't have to do it at the last minute. Thank you.
Well, that was emotional. Let me hand you over to Jono. Now I've got some new batteries for the mic. And Jono's going to talk to you about opportunities within futsal.
Okay, so just going back to the futsal course that we offer, obviously we run in partnership with EFL, so for those that don't know, it's the English Football League Trust that offer the futsal scholarship with us. Ahead of September, we've probably got some exciting news, which is probably 50-50 up until next month, but there's a good chance that we'll be playing football and futsal next year in an EFL football and futsal division, and that's both boys and girls, so we'll be doing bi-weekly futsal and bi-weekly football for the first and second years. Going into some of the opportunities that we offer while being on the course, the men's futsal, some of the boys and, well, obviously not girls because it includes in the name, but the men's futsal, we've seen some of the boys involved in it so far this year. We've also had ex-professional players and also coaches get involved. Yes, I'll put my hand up and say that's where I always play and get injured, likewise Cal, and a couple of other members of staff, looking at Jenna. So just talking about the men's, they kind of training once a week or once every 2 weeks now. We've now got a new men's manager who's come across from Corby Futsal, and I believe the first training session is on Friday. Jack Collison has played for the men's, so for those that don't know him, he's played for Wales football team alongside Gareth Bale, played against John Terry, Frank Lampard, and is also now West Ham's under-16 manager. He still plays for our men's futsal team. Louis, obviously ex-scholar and coaching staff, likewise obviously Cal, and a couple of other kind of big names playing that men's futsal. As you can see, Isaac there on the right, who's a current scholar, winning the trophy last year. Tiago playing for Grantham, kind of reserves and younger teams at football. Ex-scholar playing in the men's occasionally. And like I said, Jack Collison tweeting on the left about how good the experience has been. Also, Jack's kind of posted a little bit, if anyone knows how his career went, he ended it here at Posh, so he came back where he all started, had really kind of suffered with bad knees, and futsal was a way for him now to play and still kind of get that feel-good factor from playing football or futsal, and that was just a kind message that he put in the group chat that we have. Talking a little bit about kind of our pathway, so it may start, and I look amongst you guys and we see local grassroots football players. You kind of get involved in our development centre, which some of the youngsters are here tonight. Thank you for coming and attending. Keep attending them sessions that Callum, Fabio, Louis, Ashmore and other coaching staff are running. They're going to help you. I know it can sometimes seem you doing repeated practices, but we're trying to get them kind of futsal kind of knowledge into you and transferring it from football. From that, you come into our scholarship. You can either study A levels or BTEC, depending on what your academic grades are. Moving on from that, we've had players such as Cal, Tiago, Brandon Powell, and hopefully there's going to be a couple next year. I'm looking to see players moving into the second years. Hopefully we're going to have a couple of them and under the 16s challenging at the regional futsal camps. Then moving into the men's team, hopefully England under 23s if the regional camps are successful, and then moving forward if you were really lucky into the men's. Keith will love that photo, you've probably seen it around. But why play futsal? So football knowledge is easily transferable into futsal. Be part of the team, play at a high tempo. You know, in football, I don't really score when I played at right back, unless it was at penalties. In futsal, you'll get 1v1s, 2v1s all the time, get the chance to score, defend and attack, all in a quicker, fast tempo game. Some of the social media, so people that listen to TalkSport, the youngsters won't, but the parents might. So you've got Adrian Durham tweeted about us, telling us well done, he's a big Posh fan. He's quite often on our case. We've been on the radio, BBC Radio Cambridgeshire, Connect FM, so on. We're on there most years. Ricky Miller, who was our futsal ambassador, we won't talk about him too much because I'm sure he'll be in the ET over the next couple of days, not for the greatest of reasons. But he was tweeting about us and quite active with us this year. And we've also had a really kind message from Danny Lloyd yesterday. I haven't managed to put it in the presentation, just we didn't get around to it, but Danny Lloyd wished everyone a very successful evening while he's been away, and he's had great interaction with all of our scholars this year. So we've been in the programme. For those who come and watch the first team, we have a page in the programme kind of every home game. We've even had a futsal day this year where we've kind of plastered everywhere. We'll have our write-ups. Match reports now going to be provided by Cookie, as soon as he was so good at talking at the front, but really active once again. Dan, as you can see, happy as ever, and I can see your head going down now. But yeah, club involvement, so some of the opportunities that you get, they get to earn money on match day, some of them that applied for it. The same jobs will be going up next year. As you can see, Dan's absolutely loving life there, working on a Saturday, but running the fan zone here at Peterborough United, and the chance, like I said, to earn some money on a match day. Jose's working with some of our goalkeepers at the minute, but I'm not a great goalkeeper coach, nor is Cal. I can certainly say our flexibility can't show you what you need to do, so we don't get to do that stuff. But Jose gets to come in every couple of weeks and work for a solid 3 hours with our goalkeepers. There's Rollers. I don't think he actually won that. I think he slipped up. So the futsal day, three of the boys in May got to go up on the first team pitch and do a keep you up challenge. I think the winner was actually Zach, because he's missed the safety on his right foot the whole 1 minute of the keep you up challenge. However, on the futsal day, like I said, they were everywhere on the match day, got to be in the programme, got to go on the pitch, and once again, it's a great opportunity for players to get involved with the first team. The boys will love this one, and I think they've quite enjoyed it, to be fair. We've been having a lot of fitness sessions on a Friday evening, so it's voluntary, it's optional, the boys don't have to do it, but one of our members of staff, Jez, works in the football academy, he's a UEFA B licensed coach who understands what the requirements are for a futsal and football player, but he's also obviously a fitness instructor and runs his own little gym down in Fengate. The boys have got to give the biggest amount of credit to you guys for paying to get, not only from some of you from March on a Friday night when you've probably got better things to do, to get to Fengate, pay for a taxi from the train station to the session, pay for the session, and then get all the way back at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the snow, in the rain, to be beasted for an hour, and some of you to be made sick regularly. So just a little round of applause for the boys that were doing that. Like I said, a message from Jez, he just wanted to say, well done, your efforts have been better than anyone that he's worked with, and you've represented the club in the best of lights, and like I said, doing it with a smile on your face, apart from Gucci, who I think's just been sick just before then. But massive well done. There's going to be an action shot, Cookie putting the 5 kgs, even though they look big, struggling on them, but doing quite well in the session. Yeah, a few wolf whistles, I'm sure, for the boys and girls, but they managed to have this opportunity only this week. They had a kind of modelling photo shoot for the new training wear. You normally see our academy players, sometimes our first team players will be modelling it as well. Obviously, I couldn't let them just do it, I had to jump in on the action as well. But Cookie, Isaac, May, Gemma managed to model our new training kit. That's going to be for the whole club. And once again, just a lovely opportunity for the guys to get involved in amongst the first team.
By the way, before we move on, anyone think that Jono got involved in the modelling? He wasn't supposed to. Anyone think he might have made Joe take him a few photos for his Facebook profile? No. They're on the website, so not Jono, thankfully, but they're on the website today. It's been launched today, so if you want to see yourself on the website, that's where it is.
Yeah, well, we needed to add some good looks to it, Phil, didn't we? So
Listen, if you want to say that in front of all these people, that's fine, but we've got those pictures, remember?
So I'm just going to hand the mic over to Cal. Cal's going to talk a little bit about the PDC and how that works and where we're going with it.
Give me a round of applause, come on.
Hello, yeah, good evening all. Just want to make sure it works. No, from me, I just wanted to say for the Development Centre boys from obviously the age of under 13 all the way up to the under 16s is a massive well done. The way the Development Centre works, we run on a 10-week block. You train for 10 weeks and hopefully we play games at the end of the 10 weeks. We issue best trainers out every night and then it comes down to the end to see who got the most best trainers for trophies. So we're here tonight to hand out the trophies for those as well. A little bit of news at the end of the night will be given out by myself on where we're going with that, because we will be going from a development centre into an academy, so we'll have both now, an academy and a development centre for futsal. So I'm going to start with a massive thank you first. As most people are aware, from a Monday night, we've got Louis Bland, who helps me out on a Monday, spends most of his time at Granford now playing football, but normally on a Monday comes to help me up. So Louis, just a little present from me. Have you come and collect this? Well done, thank you. So we're going to start with the best trainer for the under 13s and 14s. For me, this lad joined us in our second block actually, was fantastic throughout, didn't play futsal before, was a football player really, joined us, had great abilities, his football skills adapted to futsal really well, was excellent. So this award goes to Ellis Masons. So we're going to move straight on to the under 15s with the best trainers. This young lad, again, played football. I think majority have played football, but I'll talk a brief sentence on him. He's been at all 3 blocks. He's been fantastic. He's been learning the game. He's brought his skills across from football to futsal really well. I think it's fair to say in the last block in block 3, we've really seen some futsal skills. We played a game at Cambridge, stood out for me for the under 15s. So this award goes to Jamie Lane. Good, so moving on to the under 16s, the last age group we have in our development centre. This lad has played futsal before, so it was really good when he came across and joined us. It was massive because he had a good futsal knowledge, knew the basis of the game. I've seen on Instagram, do I do revision, do I come to futsal? He's always at futsal, which is good. He's here tonight after a little bit of persuading. Okay, I think he now knows who it is. So when he turns up to training, always 110% work ethic. So for me, best training for the under 16s with Block 3 is Harry Howarth. Good, so now we're going to go into the most improved. We're going to go back to the under 13-14s. So this boy joined us in Block 3, so he missed Block 1, Block 2, come across, didn't know much about futsal, or nothing about futsal at all, turned up to the first session. What is this? So he had his first session, really enjoyed it, carried on for the rest of the block, was outstanding. I thought his football skills into futsal was magnificent. The sole of the foot use, which obviously we drill into the scholars, was excellent. Hasn't played his first game yet, which obviously at the end of the night will tell us on who we're playing. But this most improved player goes to Jay Cartwright. Well done. Good, so moving on to the under 15 most improved. This lad coming on with work experience with us was very good in work experience regarding one or two issues, but he can perhaps mention that when he comes out. But anyway, come to Block 2, Block 3 after the work experience, we sort of roped him into it after training with the scholars, was really good, blended well with our scholars, considering he was an under 15. So the most improved player for that goes to Lewis Bennett. Okay, so moving on to the under 16s, the last trophy to be awarded. He is a goalkeeper this evening. He comes to the Jose sessions really good. For me, we looked at him on first block. You could tell he's a football goalie, 100%. We worked on him. Jose's worked on him really hard in 3 hours a year. Louis then works on him once a week. Okay, doing different sessions, helping him in gameplay, and improved massively since the first day we had him. So the most improved goes to Brandon. Well done. Good. So, unfortunately, this player couldn't be with us this evening due to different commitments. However, as he's not here, I just wanted to say a massive well done to him. Some of the boys have played with him at the block. But Will Palmer has been in our under-16s development centre side for futsal. He's now currently in the under-23 England deaf side. He's playing there week in, week out. I believe the reason he can't be with us tonight because last week he was away in Portugal, if I'm right, playing for the England under-23s. So that's a massive achievement for him. So I just wanted to announce that because he's done really well. All right, so that's the award to the PDC tonight. So I'll hand back to John.
Toplin's moving about as fast as he does on the futsal court, as you can see, quite slow. Okay, fantastic. So we'll just go to the previous slide. So we'll talk about the end of season events. Obviously, we're now here tonight because we come to the close of the season. So this is a picture of the girls a little while ago in the sun at the Aqua Park. I believe it's down at Rutland Way. As part of their end of season events. Like I said, this Friday they're going to Thorpe Park, and I'm sure there'll be a few screams and cries there this week. For the boys, end of season events, or part of kind of their end of season, at Christmas time, we have first year, second years. Now we spend all year, and we do every season, where the first years think they're better than the second years, and the second years think they're better than the first years. So we say, right, although it's not futsal, we'll have a look at you in the football field. We played in Yaxley at Christmas time. Second years came better off. I believe it was it 4-1 or 4-2? 4-2. Second years were far more comfortable, looked more threatening when they went forward and obviously took their chances. We had a couple of the under-16s joining as part of that group. Obviously a great experience for them to play under the floodlights, but not only that, we actually had Anthony Grant, one of our first team players and probably the best player of the season, or at least up there, come and watch out of his own time, so we didn't even have to ask him. He actually came and watched on a Friday evening, day before a game, maybe not the best match prep, and watched the Scholars play. To boost that up, come the end of the season, only a couple of weeks ago, they played on the AVAX, so it was a great experience, not only to play at Yaxley, but then to play actually on the first team pitch here at Peterborough United. First years played the second years again. It was a bit of a different scoreline this time, and I know the second years aren't going to want me to say that, but they did actually turn them over. I think it was it 10-1? Okay, so I know it's sore to some ears, but yeah, the first years actually won 10-1. As you can see, Rodder's celebrations at the bottom left, thinking he's top golden boot scorer over there, but we'll get around to that later. So we're going to welcome up May Moncaster, wearing the number 4 shirt there, who's going to speak briefly about her best moments so far.
So it's not really best moments, I don't know why they put it under that, but it's just an overall review of the season really. I'm a little bit nervous, so sorry about that. When I first joined this course, I did not realise how much I love futsal. How fast the game can change is what interests me, and futsal has helped me develop in my 11-a-side game. I think the biggest highlight of my season is losing to Southampton twice, not only in the Ladies' Cup final, but also in the last game of the season. Now, you're probably all thinking, what the hell, that's probably the worst highlight. However, the character and the grit we showed in the game shows me why we are the real winners of the league and Southampton aren't, because we are the best team, obviously. Now, during the league game, we were 5-1 down at half-time. Now, that was a hard scoreline to take, however, after words from Jenna, with 20 minutes to play, we got it up to 5-4. Now, although we still lost the game, the grit we all showed and the emotion after the game is why this is the highlight of my season, because we are all together as one one team. Looking forward to next year, I'm excited with the opportunities we have coming up. We are hopefully going to be playing football as well as futsal, along with other extracurricular activities, but it's a challenge we are all really excited to It's a challenge we are all really excited for. One great thing about football and futsal is that there's always room for improvement, and as first years cannot wait to show Southampton who the real winners are. Just to end, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Jenna, Megan, Isaac, Kaz, Paul and Jono for everything you do for us, and a massive shout out to Sharon for helping us at the start of the season. However, the biggest thank you goes to you two over there, Sophie and Georgia. Thank you for teaching us the ins and outs of futsal, but most importantly, thanks for giving us lifts all the time. You'll both do amazing at university, and you'll be missed so much, and we all love you.
I know the girls are going to quite like me playing this next video on the next slide. This is from something maybe they shouldn't have been doing in the change room, but I suppose we'll forgive them because it was so good. But we'll play a short video. Okay, so I'm going to welcome up one of the boy scholars now, wearing the Rupert the Bear trousers. I think he's just seen me in them on a couple of photos and thought he'll try and look as good as me in these. But I'll welcome up Zach Mulholland. So as a first year's been really successful overall. We've had a lot of highs and lows. Started the season with a Super Cup game at St George's Park against Grimsby. That didn't really go too well, but that sort of set the mood for the rest of the season. Knew that we had to work hard, knew that they were our challenge. Met them later on in the season, given some good games. Unfortunately didn't get the results, but still as a first year means we've got room to improve on to next year. As I said, we've had some great times. Came out on top of the league with a great record, most of the season unbeaten. So we took a little fall towards the end of the season, but I think that just reflected everything that was going on on and off the court. But on to next season, we're just looking to improve, work harder, and just achieve as much as we have next year, if not more. And got a great bunch of boys to work with next year as well, and 16's coming up, so it'll be a really good season, and looking forward to it. Okay, so the boys weren't aware that we were going to do this, but the team of the season. So, team of the season is kind of what it says up there. It's the team that we think across the whole squad deserves to be in that group of 5 players who have been the best, maybe on and off the court for their team. So, going to go through it, and then we'll have the team of the season up, and we will have a photo. But we'll start with the goalkeeper. So, for their team, they've been keeping the rest of the team in the game week after week after week. Showed great character, not only on the court, off the court. He's led them as a group, vocally, in the way that a player should lead them off the court, in motivating everyone around them, setting a great example of how a player should look, and also a student. And the first player would be Dan England. All right. Okay, the second player, we're looking at a player who plays as a fix. So it's the player at the back who does the tackling and starts the attacks. This player has dropped out from our under-16s academy and spent a couple of years there. He started as a football player, converted into futsal, and is still playing football at a good level. He's not only a great player, but he's been a great ambassador of the football club and of us as a futsal team. Around the training ground, he conducts himself in a great manner. He's a great example of a player and student again, and that's Ollie Roymore. Okay, the next two players are the wingers, players that have a lot of energy, cover ground that, it's safe to say, me, Cal and Jenny can't cover anymore. They've got a lot of legs. They provide a lot of goals for the team. They've consistently been good this year in their team, fantastic. Every game we struggle to pick, we'll leave them out as man of the match because they've been that good. One of them's provided a lot of goals, week in, week out. I've got to say, when he's in the team dynamics are a lot faster, quicker, and things click. The other creates a lot of goals, doesn't score quite as many, but still scores a lot. He's been a great character, and he's also known as the Messi of March. And I'd also like to welcome up Rodrigo Silva. Lastly, it's a pivot, otherwise known as a striker. Sometimes they're big, strong players who can hold the ball up. Otherwise, they're players who can rotate and move the opposition. This player, you think as he's our striker, it would need to be one that scores week in, week out. And actually, when we look at his scoring, it's not the greatest. I know it needs to be what he needs to improve next year, as well as using his right foot. But this player's been good on the court, good off the court at times. But I'd like to welcome up Ryan Cook. So just before we finish for the break, we'll have a 10-15 minute break where you can help yourselves to some food, go and get refreshments at the bar, etc., and a bit of fresh air because it is boiling hot up here, and I'm sure it is sat down listening to us waffle on a little bit. But we'll play two short videos just covering the season highlights, a video that we've put together for both boys and girls. Okay, so we're going to have a short break now for 10-15 minutes. If we can aim for 10 minutes, then we'll return, go through the next set of awards.
Call the physio, is it shop somewhere? I don't know. Shop. Clinic, there you go, clinic. So he's got a clinic up at, in Hampton, so anyone fancies needing anything, then I'm sure Ash can help you out. But Ash has come in and been absolutely fantastic. He's had his injuries, giving Rodders his weekly massages, which he usually wants, as well as Zach, unfortunately missing out on a couple of times. But Ash, thank you very much on behalf of all the team. You've been absolutely brilliant this season, and we really wish all the best and everything. Well, there is someone hiding around who you probably noticed with the big old cameras. Joe has been up the top for this year, and I must say, the photos that he's done and the work and editing he's done for the boys and the girls has been absolutely brilliant. So I'd just like to invite Joe up to Joe to say this. Joe, thank you very much. I'm sure all the boys will appreciate everything you've done for them, especially the girls. The photos you've taken have been absolutely fantastic. Thank you. So, this event wouldn't go out with a little bit of laugh. So Phil, although you have absolutely ruined me on YouTube, my family's all seen it, so, well, that's all I need to say. But Phil, thank you very much for ruining my life. And last of all, we've got three coaches here who have been absolutely fantastic. Without this, we really couldn't do what we do here today. This course, this presentation, everything is all set up by them, and literally, there's no words to explain how brilliant all three of them are. So just a massive round of applause for Joe. A little bit off topic, there is a young lady in the room who was turned 18 today. Sophie, do you want to come up? Let me embarrass you. So, 18, dodgy driver, well, absolutely brilliant, isn't she? But Sophie, I think we'll sing a little bit of happy birthday for you. So, ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sophie. Happy birthday to you. That's it for me, thank you.
Oh, how embarrassing. Right, we're going to keep on with the embarrassment thing, because we're going to invite Janet Lusk up to this lectern to talk about the girls' futsal, as I drop my pen, and to go through the awards. So a big hand for Janet, please.
Okay, I'm also nervous, so apologies for this one. So our season's been quite hard. We've got a couple of knocks, one to OJ, which we lost quite early on, so quite a nasty injury. But she's been with us, whether she's been physically with us, she's always been with us in our minds when we've been playing the games or training and things like that. But it's been thoroughly enjoyable. We've had some success in the Shield competitions, winning 3 out of 5 times. We made the final of Futsal Cup and also took the league title race to the last game of the season, but unfortunately, as the girls keep banging on, we lost against Southampton. Did anyone know that? No, I didn't know about Southampton. I thought the girls, straight after this match, we actually due to play a friendly, and I said to the team straight away, I was like, look, we're not going to want to play this game, just lost the league, but, well, apart from May, she wasn't up for it, but everyone else was really up for the game, purely for the fact that they wanted to put right what they did wrong in the previous game. And that was to my surprise, really, because as a player, I don't know if I could have done that either. So at that moment, I actually learned a lot about all of you, and that is how strong, determined, and resilient you all are. Can I have a clap if you want? Thanks for that. I can honestly say that in my time that I've coached, managed, that I haven't actually been proud of a group of players. So thank you for that. And have a clap again, wouldn't I? With that approach, girls, honestly, you will go far in life, so never lose that. Just moving on, we went to St George's Park, as we briefly mentioned before. Majority of the girls actually have no experience at St George's Park. Again, we faced Plymouth, not always been the best to play against, they're quite hard, but we've always managed to scrape a result. But as you can see, we won 6-0, so The environment, and noticeably bigger pitch, didn't actually phase any of the players. They went out and produced some of, well, the best team and some individual performances across the whole season on that day, so well done for that. I can't forget to mention day out at Acker Park, which was great fun. It was good to see you girls in different light and bonding as a team. And like obviously you mentioned before, going to Thorpe Park on Friday, which I'm sure will be fun and a thrilling day out for all of us. I can't forget to mention a few key people that without you guys, I would have struggled, and I don't think the girls would have been as successful. So firstly, Sharon obviously mentioned before, but personally, and as the girls, you've worked really closely with them, with gym, flexibility, psychology workshops, which again, coming back from that loss, I don't think some of them may not have been able to do it. So thank you. You've helped develop them as players and as people, I know that for sure. And you've massively helped me on a personal note with my coaching as well. I also want to thank Megan and Callum, who stepped in to help coach the girls, and I've no doubt that your sessions and knowledge has helped the girls this season too, so thank you both. And finally, I can't forget to mention our two leaders today, Sophie and Georgia. It's been an absolute pleasure this last 2 years. Really, really proud of your progress as people and as players. I know you'll both be really successful, and I wish you all the best for the university. So, that's me.
Sorry, I was expecting you to go on far longer than that, John. I do apologise. You've passed me the mic as if I know exactly what's going on here. I'm presuming that you're going to do the actual awards now, is that right? I mean, if you don't know, I sure as hell don't know. So, what were you thinking? Awards? Yeah, let's do the awards. Wonderful, brilliant. Okay, so you know the answers to these questions. So the quickest to lose your head is Jenna. No, it's not Jenna, is it? Oh, can you work a mic? Do you want me to just pass you this one?
Sorry, I didn't actually realise we were going here. Yeah, so quickest to lose a head. So we've done a few jokey ones. Girls thought it'd be quite fun. I've got a donkey which I found was quite hilarious. So quickest to lose a head goes to Georgia Bainbridge. Most likely to miss an open goal. Gemma Hill. So football tennis, we have a football tennis court where most of the girls and the lads, and to be fair, most of our staff as well, are there pretty much most of the days. We have lots of competitions, so this is actually the worst at football tennis, so if it was down to me, I'd probably be getting it, but the girls voted and Sophie James. Okay, most improved player. This person come in, like most of them, never played futsal before, very unconfident, but over the past sort of year, season that we've had her here, she's grown as a player and a person, and I'm thoroughly proud of her. She's a force to be reckoned with, and look forward to working with her next year as well, and that's Emily Brimley. Top goal scorer. Well, I'm sure we all know who this is. From how many goals you scored, May, this year? Yeah, so you've lost count, it's that many. But May, well done, you've won top goal scorer. So this helping sort little bits and pieces out. She's valued as from me as a manager, and also by the players, as the players' player goes to Sophie Jameson. Okay, manager's player, she's a character, that's to say the least, but she's one of the, well, I've thoroughly enjoyed coaching her. She's passionate, determined, and I have no doubt that she's going to be hugely successful within her football and potentially futsal career, so May Moncaster.
Okay, so just going a bit of an overview really of the boys season from messages really from me and Cal, just before we get to the awards. So going through quite a few points really. The PDC is Cal's project, and it's Cal's really the first project that he's run since being a coach for us, since being a scholar. I've got to say Cal's run the project really, really well. It's good to see so many youngsters here today, and hopefully you've been inspired by what you've seen to come onto the scholarship programme, and it's just getting better and better as per the trophies show, and also the performances per year. The more of you guys that get involved, the better things that we can offer, and great members of staff that we've been able to have around us and supporting us. Firstly, as Jenna did, I want to thank obviously all the members of staff that are here now, so from Sharon to Ash to Fabio, who helps Callum on the PDC, to Jez on a Friday night, who gives up his time as well. I really want to thank you ever so much from all the staff, because without what all you guys do, there's no doubt they wouldn't be as good as they are, and also me and Cal wouldn't be able to provide what you guys do, so thank you. Going on to NCS, just wanted to talk a little bit about one of my highlights, was one of the pranks that we did. The first years are the people that do NCS, and they gain a lot of activities, they gain a quite valuable qualification or something to put on their CV, but we always have to pull one prank throughout the activity and time away. So a couple of years ago, I think it was Alex Finley, wanted to push me in the water when we were there, and it was a couple of years ago before that I did get pushed in the water, and a couple of people shook me and Cal up in our rooms quite late at night. So we thought, what we're going to do as first years, that they want to please and impress you. So Cal went up and rounded up the first years and said, Jono wants to see you in this room immediately. Everyone needs to be there. We set up the camera, and we'd set up the bed with loads of real bad foods and things they shouldn't have been eating when we provided them food, breakfast and dinner. So Cal's lined them up, looking at the bed, about to point and give them a bit of a telling off. We're filming it from the opposite bunk bed, and then we've given them a bit of a drenching, and it's all been caught on TV. And we haven't been able to show it tonight because there's a few rude words from the players which we won't mention, but they thoroughly enjoyed it. I think they'll say that was one of their best moments of NCS. Moving on, the Super Cup. You saw the video earlier that Fleece ripped Gucci, or Phil I should say, ripped Gucci for missing the pen, but I've got to say that's been a big moment of our season. Not the best of ones, because obviously we lost in the cup, our first game of the year, but I've got to say the boys did us proud in front of quite a few people who were watching. They did the EFL futsal programme proud, because actually the level of futsal being played was very high. And like I said, we've taken that into the season, so the Super Cup was a great experience. The Scare event, well, this was optional, one of the activities that we did, so every year we'll be doing it next year. We took the boys and kind of offered it out to quite a few people to go to Norwich and go to Primeval, which is obviously a Scare event at the right time of year. So we're going to go to that on Hinchinbrook House again next year. And Ben volunteered himself to come, which I don't know why, looking back on reflection. He's obviously very scared of clowns and Scare events. But at the time we got in and used our tickets, he was already nearly crying, and then we had to put him back on the minibus before we even did any of the activities. And I thought he was joking when he was running around, said he wanted to go back. So I tried to keep him in the queue, but it just didn't work, and we had to put him back. That certainly was the highlight of my season. and Ben, you will be going on that again this year. Ben Denton's, going back to Ben, did really surprise me. So Ben's one of the guys that works on our fan zone and also works at half time at Posh. I've got to say, it's absolutely credit to the guys that work on that fan zone, the way that you represent the club and yourselves. Not only the reason I'm pointing out Ben, we recently went to RF Wittering where I didn't know he was quite as intelligent as what he showed me that day. Either that or he spends too much time in the pub, because we got the dartboard out and people were getting triple 17s, double this, triple that, and he was adding them up like this, like he was eating his dinner. So Ben really surprised me, but like I said, it's a bit of a highlight of my season because I didn't quite realise how clever you were at maths. Going back to that fan zone, the boys, I think in the first couple of weeks of doing the fan zone and running it outside here on a match day, they were all very nervous, trying to please obviously me, Cal and the other members of staff at the club. All of a sudden I'm handing out tickets to scouts and complimentary tickets, and I hear a smash. And I look over at the fan zone and someone's pinging the ball straight through one of these windows, and I can see the boys' faces drop. And like I said, even though it's, looking back, it's quite funny at the time, I know the boys were very much scared of the consequences, which was nothing in the end, but certainly a funny time. Rodrigo and AJ, sadly AJ is one of the scholars that wasn't there able to make it because he's abroad tonight, but some of the competitive edge between Rodrigo and AJ going for that Golden Boot award, which we'll see who's won it later on in the evening, but like I said, some of the competitive edge between them two, even to the point I think nearly got to tears, which was interesting. And lastly, just how proud I am of three of the scholars, AJ, Gucci, Rodders, who played in the Midlands event. They got selected and represented the Midlands versus the North and South to be some of the best players within the EFL division, which two of them were first years, one was a second year, and hopefully we're going to have three or more players involved in that event again. It just goes to show the good work that you guys have put in to be selected for that, and like I said, you demonstrated a great level of ability on the day. Moving forward, we're going to go into the awards now, and as you can see, both for the boys and girls, there's been some really great awards this year and some great trophies up for grabs. So, with no further ado, we'll move on to most improved. Now, this gentleman, it could have gone to really anyone in the team, from any 4 or 5 chaps in front of me to some of the guys at the back, because everyone really has developed throughout the year. This player individually, though, has come on leaps and bounds. At the start of the year, couldn't find the back of the net, was getting quite frustrated, quite low, upset about it, come to me for a chat. We spoke about it, he developed, and it's even got to the point now where you know he's going to score, he's certainly going to be testing the keeper, and there's no doubt about it, he's going to be contested next year in the National League teams, in the A and B team, and that goes to Archie Holt. This gentleman, and the next award up for grab is most man of the matches. The boys may think they know who this is because I can see them tapping him and giving him a bit of an elbow, but there might be a bit of a trick up our sleeve. You don't know whether it's done by EFL or our own stack sheet. So this guy's worked hard on and off the court, represented the club well, and I think that goes down to the reason partly he's got the most man of the matches. It means he's been the best player on most. He stood out the most times frequently throughout the season. This is a player I'm particularly proud of because he's come from our development centres in futsal, continued where you under-16s are now, into his first year of the scholarship, and without any further ado, it goes to Zach Mulholland. Okay, so this trophy is Clubman. What it stands for is someone that once again represents the club in a really good light. He goes above and beyond on and off the court when it comes to volunteering, coaching, going out, doing things in the community. representing the club when we've got other members of staff in, so how he greets them, how he conducts himself, has he been high up on the scoreboard, is he reliable, questions like that. And I've got to say it could go to, I'm looking now and it could go to probably the majority of the squad, from players that have volunteered in the community all the time, to players that have helped out in the academy, development centre and PDC. So once again, I really could give this to a lot of players, but this award is going to make it a double for this young man, and it goes to Zach Mulholland. Okay, so this trophy is the Golden Boot. It's a bit of a giveaway, as you can see. Great trophy, massive, and probably one of the more prestigious trophies that you can win. As you can see, round after round, award after award, the awards are getting more and more important and bigger in size. The Golden Boot is for the player that scored the most goals. This player individually has probably affected us in the league. Probably one of the highest players throughout the EFL division to ever score this amount of goals. He's been consistently very good, hasn't really picked up many injuries, and sadly can't be with us tonight because he's abroad. However, we have videoed and photographed him receiving the trophy, which is Antonio Keats. So if we give him a little round of applause as well.
Collecting his award as he's not with us at presentation tonight. Golden Boot winner, scored 36 league goals and many more in cup competitions and in friendlies. So congratulations, Ego. Well done. Okay, here you go. A few words to the camera.
Yeah, as you're aware, won't be joining you this evening. I'm waiting to see my parents, but just want to say thank you for the 2 years to Jordan, Kaz, and everybody that's been around futsal and scholarship. It's been a very nice time and good moments, fantastic moments on the pitch, fantastic goals and memories I'll never forget. And I want to thank Rodrigo as well for bringing the best out of me. Of course, as everybody knows, it was a very long top goal scoring race, but at the end of the day I won. But yes.
Okay, so I don't think many people knew that we were maybe doing this trophy, which is Student of the Year. We value this on the scholarship, obviously your academic side of things is just as important as your futsal. Although we want you to be a good player, if you don't obviously do your work, you don't do things, which has been the case in some of our scholars over the years, then you won't play. This is a very important trophy, and I think this gentleman's worked hard, not only on his BTEC, but also in the classroom doing his A-level. He's consistently been in the academic scoreboard top couple, reliable on handing in his work, completing it on time, and I've got to say he's a great model student in the classroom. So with no further ado, it goes to Matthew Wilshire. It's a player's player, very important trophy, and this goes down to the players' performances consistently on the court, week in, week out, training session, day after day. This gentleman's efforts have seen him kind of battle for another trophy very, very closely, as previously mentioned. His teammates have voted him in for this trophy, and it's seen in our eyes as, like I said, a very valuable vote. And we can see him being a very valuable player next year. We hopefully also want him to win more awards next year, and maybe the one that he wanted most. And this award goes to Rodrigo Silva. Okay, so this trophy, as it says, is the Manager's Player Award. obviously picked by myself and Callum. The award was a very, very tight award between 3 or 4 players, and it's been a really hard decision for us because there's 3 or 4 players that we were kind of stuck on the short list. This player has consistently played in the Posh A team, and he has deserved the award due to the fact that his quality on the court, listens to things, takes it on board very well. This player, as I previously mentioned, has the mentality to be a futsal player at a very high level, and I also think as a student will do very, very well. As a player, he's raised his standards and levels in the big games. When things have got tough, he hasn't had a poor attitude, he hasn't put his head down and put it in the sand. He's kind of wore his heart on the sleeve throughout the year, consistently been good in the change room, good for motivation with the other players. And like I said, I'm being very, very pleased and proud to coach him. I think you'll do very, very well next year, and I look forward to coaching you as well. Ollie Goymore. So, just on the next slide, we just want to welcome up the second years. Cal, if you're all right handing out the medals, each of you is going to go away with a medal. We'll have a quick photo at the top, and we want obviously the girls also to join us in this, and we'll get a second year's leavers photo. So I'll call you one at a time. I know there's a couple of you missing, but first of all, Max Snowden. Alex Finley. Keith Moreza. Alan Barker. Sophie Jameson. And Georgia Bainbridge. Okay, we've got the video now. Hopefully this will work. It's been kind of a little bit difficult this afternoon and not really working, but with our fingers crossed it'll work. It's a short video, a message to the second years and the first years from all the members of staff at Posh. Some of them you work with daily, some weekly, some you've only seen on a couple of occasions, but some kind messages.
I'd like to say good luck to all the first year futsal players, and congratulations and good luck to all the second years.
Well done this year. It's been a pleasure coaching you now and again in the gym and in the sports hall you futsal. Well done on winning the league. Great success. Second year on the trot. First year it's been brilliant having you around. And we're looking forward to you coming back next year with some more success. Second years, well done for completing your 2 years. Have a great time at university and any other career paths you're going ahead with.
Right, lads, first I'd like to congratulate you on winning the league this year. All of you, it's been great getting to know you across the NCS programme back in October. Thought we had a great laugh. First years, obviously looking forward to seeing you again next year. We can kick on and win some more trophies. Second years, good luck with whatever you're moving on to, apprenticeships, university or anything. So well done boys, thank you.
Just a quick message for all the futsal players, all the best for next year. Enjoy yourselves.
Boys, congratulations on winning the league. First year is looking forward to seeing you all again next year. Second year is good luck on your future career paths and where it may take you.
Right boys, just want to say a big well done for a very successful season. Obviously seen a lot of the hard work you've put in. It's been great to see. Second year is a pleasure to play with some of you. Maybe not with others, but first year as well. It'll be good to see you next year and how you get on. Alright, well done boys.
Boys, it's great to see you around the building, and I wish you all the best for next season, the season coming, and hope you have all the success you want.
Right lads, I've been in my work experience recently. I'm in the training room for yourself. time. Just want to say it's been a pleasure, and good luck for all your awards in there.
Boy, really well done this year. First year is keep that going into next year. Second year, I wish you all the best in whatever you choose to do. And overall, it was a great to coach you for the back end of the season.
Hi, I'm Paul. Well done on winning the league. Well done on winning the Plate Girls. Really enjoyed watching this year. All the best for next year. And those who are leaving, all the best for the rest of your careers. Cheers.
Good evening, all. Obviously coming to an end now of the presentation night. Obviously it's the end of the season. Just want to say fantastic effort to the boys and the girls. Obviously coached some of the girls this year as well. Been a good group to coach, so well done. Thanks for your efforts. Boys, obviously with you all year, been excellent. Okay, outstanding. You work great in training, on and off the court. Fantastic achievements. Obviously the 18 winning the league. B team competing in a very, very competitive league, finishing 4th. Obviously we've got a tough draw in nationals for Grimsby A, but obviously they went on to win it. So that's the look of the draw. But for me, well done. Obviously travelling down St George's Park, great achievements for you going down there. So well done. Second years, wish you all the best. Obviously hopefully you got your career plan sorted. First years, we'll see you next year. Obviously make sure over the 6 week break we're working. Top stuff.
Good evening all. Hope you had a lovely evening tonight at our futsal presentation. Just want to say a massive well done to the girls this year. Playing at St George's Park as well at the end of the season. Really good experience. We ended on a really good win. It's been an absolute pleasure coaching all of you, and especially St George and Sophie leading us this year. Wish you all the success going on to uni and hopefully continue playing futsal football. Obviously first years, I look forward to next year. A lot of hard work's going to go into next year, and we'll hopefully bring back that cup that we thoroughly deserved this year but weren't able to get. And also just to touch on a few sort of really good memories. Obviously our Aggle Park, which was a good laugh. Never seen someone swallow so much water all my life. From all their flips and jumps into the water. And also I can't obviously forget to mention the boys. Massive well done obviously for winning the league. And I've heard how much success you've had on and off the court. So well done to you guys as well.
Hi gents, I hope you've had a good presentation evening for season 2017-18. Well, where do I start really? Obviously, it's been a fantastic year. There's been ups and downs, there's been a bit of a roller coaster, but overall it's been really positive. Second years that are leaving, it's been a long 2 years, but a positive 2 years I hope. I hope that you picked up a couple of trophies and medals tonight. And put your future plans organised, so going to university or going into a sport industry job or even something else. I hope you've got that sorted. Obviously moving forward, I wish you all the best. First years, I look forward to a long season next year, successful one, winning trophies, silverware, and hopefully the league and nationals. There's no doubt about it. We want to be better than this year, we want to go on and win things. And the biggest thing for me, I thank you for all your hard work. The success has come from you working day in, day out. And you've been a pleasure to work with, so I'd like to thank you for that and wish you all the best.
Did you get a chance to say goodbye, Joe, or did they ask you? No? Everybody else got mentioned, didn't they? Come on then, Cal. You're going to close the evening in style. Yeah, I'm going to give you the mic. You can walk over here to do it.
So I know we ran over by half hour, but the email did say approximately, so it's fine. Just want to quickly mention, obviously the PDC plans come September. It's changing slightly. With the under 16s, obviously, hopefully, fingers crossed, all going well with the grades, you'll be joining us on a scholarship. We're now going to be turning into an academy. Okay, so on a Monday evening, it will be under 13s, 14s, an academy, and we'll also have an under 15 and 16s academy. For the players that don't get into the academy, who we still believe need a little bit more work, a little bit more development, will be in the development centre on a Thursday evening, which times will still be confirmed, but we'll believe that's 7 till 9 o'clock from now. So that's just a short insight on what the PDC holds. So we're delighted to say, obviously, we've now got an academy futsal team going, which will play once every month against futsal clubs, because we are aware that we do probably played some of our games recently against obviously football teams converting into futsal clubs, which obviously the academy will play once a month against futsal clubs. Development will still run on a 10-week block, and they'll still play their games at the end of the 10-week block. So overall, that's how it's going to plan out. Emails, letters will go out later this week regarding that. So yeah, that's a little bit of the plan. Back to you, Phil.
Thanks, Cal. That was brilliant. It's down to me to close the evening then. So thank you very much for attending this evening. For those of you that are moving on from the Futsal Scholarship, the best of luck from everybody at the football club. For those that are first years and are looking forward to working with Jono again, then obviously your life needs to take a long hard look at yourself. But thank you very much for attending and enjoy your evening.